Now I need to create also. Now I will start. I will just make convert now, but I will use the convert later. I will just make it. Now make HTTP request. So I need just to make another. For example, you can make another Dart file here and just Dart file, and I can name it anything. So for example, I can name it network to work with the network. This is what I mean by network. Here I can just add a function without a class, or you can add a class as you like. So the function called, for example, fetch, which means like get. See here, get data should be async because the data will return from the future, from the internet. So asynchronous programming, which means when I make a request, I need to wait for the response. Then this here what I need to do. First thing, I need to make HTTP request. So I need just to import the HTTP package. I already installed the HTTP package, HTTP, and you can say here as HTTP. So we can use this HTTP here. So now the response equal what? HTTP this package dot get what? Get the URL. So I need the URL from this API here. Just copy the URL here. I need to just add the URL here. Here the problem is what? If you just add the most, the argument string cannot assign to the parameter called parameter type URI. Here this one is just a string. This one just a string, but http.get accept only the type URI. So simply just say URI.parse like this, and then you can add the string here. Now I convert this string to the URI object. This is the idea. So we can just make it in the request. But as I said here we need to get the data from this, make HTTP request to get the data from the API. The problem here, it is from internet, so I need to wait for that. So for that I say async, and here you should say await. So wait this data will be in the future. If I delete async, I cannot say here await. So for that, to use await, you need to add async. Now this will get the data. What I say here, if I can say here if response dot status code equal 200, you know that 200, which means okay, the data return back. If you have like 500 or 400, which means there's error or problem in the server or in the request. So now if it is like this, okay, what I need to do, as you can see, make a HTTP request, finish, get the future response as JSON. Now it will get the data. I need to convert the data response. I will need to convert it to the Dart object. So I have already done Dart object here in the model. I can use this function just to convert the JSON data to the Dart object, right? So here I can just say return what? Return the response, but not just a response. I need to convert it. The response will be JSON. I need to convert it to the object. So I can just say here return from model to object. So here model dot, if you need to use it directly, we can just make it static here, static. So I can use it directly without a create object. So here I can say just model dot to object. Here we need just to import the model class. So import this one, then dot to object. As you can see, to object accept what? JSON, right? So the JSON already returned from the response here. So I can say here response dot body. So the body of the JSON, yeah, which means the body is what? This is the body here. Everything is inside the array. This the body of the response. Then here if you click, what we have, the argument type string cannot assign to the parameter type list of dynamic. So here the type is string, cannot assign to the parameter of list of dynamic. Here the body will be just a string. So I need first thing to convert it to the JSON. So here I can say JSON dot here we need to import this function JSON dot decode. This decode will convert the string to the JSON. So here I can say again response dot body. Now get this as a string but convert it to the JSON. Because why? Because this one is accept JSON to object, accept JSON, and will return what here? This will return list of model here. So here I can say the type is what? You can use that or not, but you can say here the type is list of model, right? But we will see the problem here. Why? See that if I click a function make async might be return the future. So here this data is right, it's a list of model, but will return this data in the future. So I should add the type here future, and the future of what? List of model, but will return in the future. This what here? Yes, here the body may cause null. So here I say if, I will say else also if there is a problem, for example through exception, and write anything, error, anything, but just you need to use else here. So now finish, I have this function, I make HTTP request here, as you can see this HTTP request to the API, convert it to the URI, and then get the result response and convert it to the object. As you can see, get the response at JSON and then convert it to the object. Now I need to work with the UI.